Okay, hello everyone. Very good afternoon and welcome back once again to everyone to Study IQ English. So my name is Praveen Mishra and we are going to begin today's session, that is where we shall be going ahead with the detailed understanding of our MCQs, polity related MCQs, right? So I believe I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. Um, yep, okay. Okay guys, so let's begin, right? So remember guys, what is this session all about? So we will be going ahead with the detailed understanding, with the detailed what we say analysis of the question, not just the question, not just the answers, but also why this question is here. As in, obviously, the full form, Unpredictable Public Service Commission, right? UPSC. Yes, the actual one is the Union Public Service Commission. But the another term here, okay, that's come through the galleries of irony. It's all what the Unpredictable Public Service Commission. So when we talk about this unprediction, obviously you cannot predict, but you can go ahead with some certainties. You can never be 100% sure. You cannot be 100% certain and ascertained. But yes, you can go ahead with the probability. Okay. And so this has been a thing which has been represented by UPSC since decades and decades. That obviously they're not going to ask the questions from the front game. They will be asking the questions from the back end. Okay, and this is what the commentary shall be done. This is what the statement shall be given, and this is what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so starting with the first question, as you can see, this is the question of previous year's prelims 2024. Okay, so the question is, under which of the following articles of the Constitution has the Supreme Court of India placed the right to privacy? And now, when we talk about simply the right to privacy, okay, so this thing is a term which is continuously in questions, continuously in newspapers, as in with regard to the data leakage, starting from the Meta to the data protection bill of the Union Parliament that we have already seen, that has gathered too much, what we say, of controversy throughout the public. Okay, from north to south to east to west. Okay, so privacy has been a concern. Privacy has been a type of a question that has been always in news, right? Okay, with regard to the data, with regard to the mobile phone, with regard to the social media and everything. Okay, so here comes in the very first question of the day. Okay, that is what? Under which of the following articles of the Constitution has the Supreme Court of India declared right to privacy as a fundamental right? As you can see, the type of a question, this is a direct static question or a direct fact-based question, directly factual question it is. No theory, nothing, just the fact. First of all, you need to understand that is right to privacy fundamental right or not? So yes, it is. As per the judgment given by the Supreme Court in 2017 by Justice K.S. Puttaswamy case. Okay. Yes, it is a fundamental right. So yes, what are the answers? Okay, so I can see. Okay, very good. Resham has already the reference. Okay, yes, the correct answer will be D. That is Article 21. Okay, this is what right to privacy is under Article 21. That is right to life and personal liberty. Okay, so correct answer it is. Now, moving to the next one. Which one of the following statements is correct as per the Constitution of India? So guys, once again, all fact-based questions. If you go through previous 4-5 years of question papers, out of 10 questions of Indian polity, guys, I'm only commenting from the context of Indian polity and not from the context of any other subject. Okay. So out of 10 questions, let's say 10 questions on an average are there in our question paper. Okay. In one single year. So out of 10 questions, more than 6 or let's say 7 questions they have been there that are directly fact-based. Well, this represents UPSC's switch, UPSC's change in the mindset. That, okay, you guys are focusing on theories only and ignoring the facts. No worries. We'll go ahead with the facts as well. So yes, what is the correct answer? Option C. Okay, let's see. So interstate quarantine is a union subject. What about that? So interstate quarantine is a union subject under the union. Yes. As you can see, statement 1, interstate trade and commerce, the state subject, no, it's once again a union subject. Statement B, interstate migration is a state subject, no, it's once again the union subject. Okay, statement C is absolutely correct. And option D, corporation tax is a state subject, no, once again, it is the union subject. Okay, so this is once again, no theory, nothing, all totally based on what? Facts and figures. This is what UPSC has stated. Don't just run around or chase around the theories, but also please do balance it with the facts, right? So as we move forward, the very next question, the third question for the day, which of the following statements are correct about Constitution of India? Another fact-based question, direct fact-based question, right? So let's see. Statement 1, powers of municipalities are given in part 9A of the Constitution. Yes, this statement is absolutely correct. We have got this through the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. Okay, then statement 2, emergency provisions are given in part 18 of the Indian Constitution. Yes, absolutely correct as well. Statement 3, provisions related to the amendment of the Constitution are given in part 20 of the Constitution. Yes, absolutely correct. Okay, this is under Article 368 that falls under part 20. So all the statements are correct, right? Okay, everyone. So what will be the correct answer? B, all of the above. So guys, what's your opinion? I mean, if I just ask your opinion, are these all questions fact-based or theory-based? What are you thinking? Yes, I have got with me Reshma, Lopam, Mudranayak, Goro, and many others. Come on, guys, what's your opinion? Are these questions totally fact-based or theory-based? Come on, your opinion. Well, let me tell you my opinion. They are all fact-based questions. No theory, nothing. Absolutely just facts and figures. Okay? So this is what the statement by UPSC. Okay? Don't just chase around the theories. Also do understand the facts, right? So let's go. Next question for the day. The Constitution's 71st Amendment Act of 1992 amends its schedule to the Constitution to include which of the following languages? So we have got 4 languages here: Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali, and Maithili. So as we know, once again, another fact question. 71st Amendment Act, okay, of the year 1992 inserted 3 languages: Konkani, Manipuri, and Nepali. Okay. Maithili was added basically in the 92nd or through the 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. It was not the 71st Amendment Act. It was the 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So what is the correct answer? 1, 2, and 3. That is option A. Right? Another fact-based question is no theory, nothing. Right? So as you can see, this is all the questions we have been discussing from the examination year of 2024. Right? Okay, great. You guys are good with the knowledge, I can see. And good going, everyone. So, moving ahead, next one. As per Article 368 of the Constitution of India, the Parliament may amend any provision of the Constitution by the way of, okay? Is it just the addition? Is it the variation? Or is it the repeal, that is subtraction? So if you go ahead with the detailed reading of Article 368, yes, guys, go ahead with the answer. Go on. I'm waiting. What do you think the answers are? Quickly, D. Okay, great, fantastic. Again, correct answer will be D. Parliament can add, Parliament can provide variations to any of the provision or the amendment, as well as Parliament can repeal any of the parts of the Constitution as well. Okay, right? Fine. So as you can see, once again, examination year 2024. All facts and no theory. Again. Moving ahead. Next. Who was the provisional president of the Constituent Assembly before Dr. Rajendra Prasad took? As we know it very well, when on the first time, 9th of December 1946, the assembly met for the first time, it was attended only by some 211 members, right? And those were the members, those who were actually from the Congress, as Muslim League opposed the installation of assembly at that time, right? Okay. So obviously there were quite a few members. Majority of the members were also not present at that time. Like not majority, but yeah, many of the members were not present at that time. So it was difficult for the assembly to go ahead with the proper elections. So as per the convention, as per the rule, that the most oldest person or the senior person or the eldest person should be chief, should be the presiding officer, it was decided that yes, absolutely correct. All of you are giving the correct answers, and that's quite impressive, quite fantastic as well. Yes, this is option D, that is Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Okay. Later on, the elections took place and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was confirmed as the elected first ever assembly president. Okay, fine. So let's proceed with the next question. As you can see once again, there could be no more fact-based question than this, right? So moving ahead, next question. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution Day. Okay, so what is this about? Constitution Day. The Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th of November every year to promote the constitutional values among citizens. Statement 2. On 26th November 1949, the Assembly set up drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so we have to go ahead with the correct statements. So if we see statement 1, it is absolutely correct. Okay, 26th November is yes, officially celebrated as the Constitution Day. But statement 2, 26th November 1949, no. It was actually July 29, 1947, if I'm not wrong with the date, okay, when the drafting committee was made and the chief of the drafting committee was appointed. Who? It was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So statement 2 is not correct as the date is wrong here. So what will be the correct answer? So it will be, yes, C. Okay, so statement 1 correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Okay, so once again, another fact-based question. History plus polity, the conjunction of both, right? Next, consider the following statements. Statement 1. The Supreme Court of India has held in some judgments that reservation policies made under Article Clause 4 of the Indian Constitution would be limited by Article 335 for the maintenance of efficiency of administration. So they have given the contrast that reservation policies under Article 364 would be limited. Why? Because we have got something that is known as Article 335. That is the claims of the SCs, right? Scheduled castes, right? So on the point of what? On the context of what? On the context of efficiency of administration. Okay, now statement 2. Article 335 defines the term efficiency of administration. Pure fact. Another. Statement 1 is absolutely correct, but statement 2 is not correct. As in, Article 335 just mentions the context. That is the efficiency of administration. Doesn't defines the term efficiency of administration. So yes, what will be the correct answer again? C. Okay, great, fantastic. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So what will be the correct answer? Option C. Remember, efficiency of administration is just mentioned within Article 335, but it has not been defined. Mentioned and defined are two different parameters. Okay. Next question. In India, which of the following constitutional amendments was widely believed to be enacted to overcome the judicial interpretations of the fundamental rights? Guys, we've got 4 options. First, Amendment, 42nd, 44th, and 86th Amendment. Okay, firstly, give me the correct answer. What do you think is the correct answer? Yep. What do you think is the correct answer? Quickly. B. Yes, absolutely correct. It is the correct answer. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay. As it added a section known as Section 55. Okay. Basically, Section 4 and Section 55. These were the two things that were very challenging. That actually stated that laws made by the parliament would be absolutely free from any kind of judicial review. So basically, this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, yes, popularly termed as mini constitution, took away the judiciary's power of interpretation. So technically, it took away the existence of Indian judicial system. So Section 55 of the Indian Constitution was challenged 4 years later in the very next case, in the very next landmark judgment known as Minerva Mills case, Minerva Mills versus of India case. Okay, so it was 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act to overcome the judicial interpretation of the fundamental rights, specifically whole constitution, right? Okay, so yes, very good. Going ahead, next question. Which of the following statement best reflects the chief purpose of any country? Another fact-based question. Determines the objective for the making of the necessary laws. Statement B. Enables the creation of political offices and the government. C. Defines and limits the powers of the government and secures social justice, social equality, and social security. Go on, guys. What do you think is the correct answer? Quickly. C. Okay, that's absolutely correct. The constitution of a country, of any country, its chief purpose, one single. And what is that? To define and limit the powers of the government. Okay? Yes. This is what every constitution's agenda is. Because the laws, as we have understood from the Renaissance or the Renaissance era, they should be rational, they should be legit, they should be obviously valid, and should be reasonable in nature. And absolute authority should not be given to any single individual. This is what the thumb rule of democracy is. And the democracy basically works only and only on a fixed codes, that is fixed constitution, right? So why are these types of questions coming? Come on, let's give it a thought before understanding the next questions. Why do we have such type of questions? What is the reason behind such type of questions? Do you have any idea? Anything? Yeah, please go on. Yes. And what's that? Why such type of questions are here? What brings us to such type of questions? Very fact-based. If you see, these are all the questions that resembles the facts, but they are 100% depending on the current events of our society. This is what constitution has been in question. Okay, not because of the government exactly, but yes, because of the continuous questions raised by the opposition, right? Opposition parties, from Congress to RJD to Aam Aadmi Party to DMK, IDMK, they have all raised severe concerns regarding the protection of the constitution. Okay, so they have always raised concerns over Article 21, right to life and liberty. Article 14 has been in question. Are we going towards a favoritism or the autocratic government? Okay, so these are all the things, all the questions that we have discussed so far might sound fact-based, but to be honest, they're not fact-based. They are fact plus current event-based. So that is why it is always stated to each and every aspirant, guys, please go through the current affairs or the newspaper programs continuously. Either you read them by yourself, or we are providing you the analysis every single day. The Hindu, the Indian Express, okay, you can find the analysis on our English channel, on our Hindi channel, on our StudyIQ IS channel, right? So there are multiple faculties providing you all of these information on a daily note, right? So this is why the reason is, this is why the impetus is always given on the current events, on the current things, that is newspapers, magazines, or even if you are our Resolution Plus batch student, then you know that we do provide you the CAP, the current affairs program, and it is going on daily. Why it is going on daily without even a single break? Because the current affairs, they just don't provide you the information what is going on in the current segment, but also they provide you the backstage story, the backstage content, the backstage knowledge and information. And so as you can see, how UPSC has converted such a low, means like in such a low manner. No, it is not a low manner, because majority of the times it was happening that now students were going on only and only reading the theoretical forms, as they have experienced for 2 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of question paper analysis. Okay, and in that they have found that, oh my god, it is the era of theories. And then UPSC comes in and provides another punch. Yes, this is the era of theories, but that doesn't makes this statement that the era of facts are gone, and we are asking questions whatever is going on in the society presently, right? So all of these things are going on in the society presently. The existence of the constitution, the debate on the constitution, how the leader of opposition keeps a constitution in his pocket always, and is showing always inside Lok Sabha, inside parliament, there's this constitution, and always reminding the government that you are defined and limited by the constitution, right? Okay, so this is why these are the, okay. So moving ahead to the next one. In essence, what does the due process of law means? As you can see, another fact-based question here, 2023. Once again, the due process was continuously in question with regard to the actions of Election Commission, with regard to the actions of CAG reports, or basically with regard to the actions of the Council of Ministers and the President of India, the correlationship between both. Okay, so ABCD. Yes, guys, go on. Correct answer. Okay, very quick, Himani and Vikas. Quite a quick response. Yes, great, very great. Option A, the principle of natural justice. Okay, if you have gone through the Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India case, so you know that how this interpretation of due process of law was switched to the procedure established by law, where sometimes natural justice, okay, refrains itself from going ahead with this concept, that is fair application of law. So we have to take the balance between both fair application of law as well as balancing the principles of natural justice, right? So yes, but in a sense, the question here is the due process of law means what? In a sense, the due process of law simply means the principles of natural justice. That's it. Okay, let's move forward to the next thing. Here we go. Consider the following statements. According to the Constitution of India, the central government has a duty to protect the states from internal disturbance. Statement 2. The Constitution of India exempts the states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. Statement 3. According to Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as evidence. Yep. Now go on. What do you think? Correct answer. So statement 1 is absolutely correct. This is as per written under Article 355. If there is any person who has been taken into the preventive detention, okay, so yes, there is no concept of any kind of legal counsel. So as per the provisions mentioned in Article 22, Clause 3, right? And then, according to the Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, yes, in general cases, not the terrorist cases, in general cases, if a person is arrested, then whatever that person has confessed in front of the police is not admissible in the court of law as the proper evidence or any kind of a proper confession. Court will demand the substantiality as well as the crystallization of all the facts that are stated in front of the police, okay, by the accused. okay, then only court will proceed. But if it is the act, that is Prevention of Terrorism Act, okay, then in that manner, the accused, whatever he or she has admitted in front of the police, within the police premises or anywhere, that will be taken as what? Evidence within the courtroom. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Quickly. Fast. What do you think? Correct answer. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is also correct. And so is the statement 3. Oh, sorry. It can be used. So statement 3 is not correct. So yeah. So how many of the above statements are correct? So only 2 statements are correct. Okay. So statement 3, as per the Prevention of Terrorism Act, confessions in front of the police can be used as what? The evidence. So here it is meant what? Cannot. Okay. So statement 3 not correct. First and second statements are correct. So how many? Yes. Only 2. Great. Next, right to privacy. Back into the question papers again. As you can see, this is, I guess, third incidence where we are discussing right to privacy. Okay. So, which article? I think it should be as easy as possible. I don't think so there is any further discussion needed, right? Come on, quickly. Which option? Option C? Surely it is, yes. Once again, Justice K.S. Swami case. Okay, next. As you can see, this is a type of a question that is blend of facts plus theories. A legislation that confers on the executive or administrative authority an unguided, uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of the application of law violates which one of the following articles of the Constitution? Yep, go on. See, it has nothing to deal with the Uniform Civil Code, so Article 44 can't be. It has nothing to deal with the writ jurisdiction of the constitutional remedies, so it can't be. It has nothing to deal with any kind of religious instructions, so Article 28, it can't be as well. It's directly focusing on what? Equality concept. So if a legislation has been made which provides immense, uncontrolled, infinite powers to the administrative authorities, then obviously it will be the grave violation to Article 14, that is equality before law, or even to the next provision in that, equal protection of laws, right? Yes, Article 32 is the soul of the Constitution out in that, as per the statements by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the great Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. But here, the question is related to Article 14, equality before law. And once again, if you see the time period, the question comes in the year 2021, okay, when continuously the legislative and executive actions of the government were in question. Continuously. It was the COVID era, obviously. The availability of the resources and the distribution of the resources, the government's legislation, specifically with regard to the farm laws, were there into the questions. And so here is the question. Okay, right. So see the logic what UPSC is using. It's using directly the current events to frame questions from the facts as well as theories. Direct. As you can see, directly they are related. Directly. Okay. That's why that current affairs programs, those newspapers analysis, they become important. They become heart and soul of your preparation. Right. Next. So, which one of the following in Indian polity is an essential feature that indicates that it is federal in character? Yes, guys, go on. Independence of judiciary. Union legislature has elected representatives. The union cabinet can have elected representatives from regional parties. And the fundamental rights are enforceable by the courts of law. Yep. Correct answer. What do you think? Quickly. B. D. See, all these 4 statements are correct. None of the statements are wrong. but you have to see the context. You have to go through the context. So it is talking about a feature that directly represents the federation of a country. Well, option A, B, C, D, all the four options, all the four lines are correct. But you have to go ahead with the direct correlationship that represents the federation as well as answer, okay, as well as its features. So the federation here is directly resembled to statement A, that is option A. Independence of judiciary is safeguarded. Okay, as per the doctrine of checks and balance, as per the theory of separation of powers, as per Article 50, executive and judiciary should be separated and there is integrated and independent judiciary. Right, everyone? So what will be the correct answer? Option A. Okay, that is the safeguard of the independence of judiciary. Okay, here we go. Next. What is the position of right to property in India? I think it should be as easy as possible type of a question. Yes, it was once upon a time a fundamental right guaranteed under Articles 19 clause 1 subclause F as well as Article 31. But these both were repealed through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now we have got Article 300 capital A. Okay, so that talks about right to property, but it is outside the ages or the provisions guaranteed under Articles 12 to 35, that is part 3. So what it is? Yes, it's a constitutional right, okay? Legal right available to any person, not just the Indian citizens, but yes, to any person, okay? So remember, even if you are a foreign entity, you have got right property, not as a fundamental right, but as a constitutional, that is the legal right available to any person. Okay. Fine. So here we go. Next one. What was the exact constitutional status of India on 26th January 1950? Once again, the question comes from the eras of 2021, when the same things were in question. Our secular structure, democratic, socialist structure. So as you know, we have amended our preamble so far once, till date once, that is the 42nd Amendment. And so we added the 3 words, socialist, secular, and integrity. But the year 1950, the 26th January 1950, when our constitution got enforced. So we were a sovereign democratic republic. Okay, right? So we were not secular at that time. We were not socialist at that time as well. Yes, we were in a sense, but it was not written. Okay, we were socialist at that time as well. We were secular at that time as well. But the only problem was it was not mentioned. Okay, so we were at that time, as per the words, sovereign democratic republic. Okay, yes. Fine. So let's go. Next question. Which one of the following best defines the term state? So as you know, state is a location or a region that is having at least these 4 things with itself. One, fixed territory, its fixed population, its own government, and so its own sovereignty. Okay, it should be also having its sovereignty. So as per this, what do you think is the correct answer? B. A politically organized people of a definite territory possessing an authority to govern them, maintaining law and order, protect their natural rights, and safeguard their means of sustenance. Well, for sure it had been B if it would be talking about the sovereignty as well. So B is not unfortunately talking about sovereignty. As you can see, a community of persons having a fixed definite territory independent of external control. That is what? is in short known as sovereignty. Okay, possessing an organized government. Okay, and the community of persons, that is population. So here comes. See, this is what the mistakes we do commit. Yes, it's a very general mistake. There is very thin gap, very thin difference between options A and B. If you see option B is almost there. Politically organized people as in population, definite territory, okay, a government. But yes, it is lacking the fourth element. That is what? Obviously, sovereignty. Right. Hence, as a result, option B is not the correct answer. Right. So, very thin gap, very thin difference. And this is where UPSC tests your analytical and observatory powers within 120 minutes. If you are residing in the northern and the Deccan belts, right? Yes, mistakes makes you learn new thing. So that becomes a bit more challenging for you, specifically the prelims examination. What's that? Weather. Specifically the northern and the Deccan belts. The month of May, when you have got the direct vertical sun rays over you, a temperature that might be staggering up to 40 degrees Celsius. So obviously, the weather is one reason that provides you more stress. Okay, and then comes in obviously such type of questions. So there UPSC tests your observation, your pressure handling capacity, as well as your analytical capabilities as well within the time period of 120 minutes. And even 120 minutes, I will say, is not the correct thing. It is just 100 minutes because the rest 20 minutes, you need to sign, you need to fill in the form, you need to fill that OMR sheets, right? So the 20 minutes are gone there only. You are left effectively, productively with 100 minutes only, right? Okay, for your any kind of preparation, any kind of attempt towards the questions. So 100 minutes, 100 questions, 1 minute per question. And if you see, 1 minute per question is not a small time, to be very honest, guys. If your preparation is good enough, if your understanding is good enough, you have been a consistent, punctual, and a disciplined student. Okay, so what we have seen in our prelims residential program as well as mains residential program students, they have been very definite towards their goals, very punctual, very disciplined, obviously, because they have to attend the sessions back to back, back to back, back to back, okay, with the proper time frame. So the discipline and the aura of energy that they have created obviously make them go ahead with the easy understanding of a question within a minute. Right? Not a big deal. But yes, the only thing when you have availed such all those platforms, such all those things, such all those practices, right? Okay. So 1 minute per question, if you see, it's not a small time, it's a good time. The only reason is, the only thing is, the only concern is if you have gone through the proper frames, the proper understanding, the proper practice, and right? Okay. So here we go. Next question. Which one of the following factors constitute the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? Guys, please have a look at the question carefully. What describes or what best is the context to the safeguard of liberty in any liberal democracy? A committed judiciary, centralization of powers, elected government, and separation of powers. Let's go ahead with elimination. See, option B can never be the answer. Centralization of powers, it is a threat to liberalism as well as safeguard to liberty. So option B is never going to be the correct answer. A committed judiciary, elected government, and separation of powers. These are the three things to be confused of. Well, a committed judiciary is there for the sake of protection of all the rights, not just the liberty. Okay. Elected government is once again there for the sake of elimination of any kind of tyranny. And there comes in the liberal concept. This is what? The separation of powers. So that each and every wing of the democracy, from legislature to executive to democracy, even the fresh one, that is the media, should not be having any kind of biasness, partisanship, fear element within themselves, and they would be able to perform in a better manner. Okay, going ahead with the liberalization of democracy, ultimately safeguarding the liberty of the individual. Once again, the question, as you can see, coming from the era of 2021, that represents everything. These were all the things which were in question in those eras. Farm laws again, and the correlationship between the government, as well as the executive wing of the democracy, Indian democracy. Okay, next. Under the Indian Constitution, the concentration of wealth violates. Another fact-based question here, 2021. Yep. What do you think? Concentration of wealth violates what? Go on, think logically. If you have the facts, you have the answer. Quickly. If you have the facts, you have the answers. Okay, it's correct. Directive principles of state policy. It is mentioned under Article 39, Clause C. Okay. No concentration of wealth. 39 Clause B talks about equal distribution of resources. 39 Clause C talks about no concentration of wealth. Okay. So good going, guys. Very good. I'm impressed. Majority of you guys are going good. Okay. Almost I've seen out of 10, 8 questions or 7 questions were right. Great. Next, constitutional government means what? We have experienced this question, I guess it was year 2023. If you say UPSC don't repeat questions, see, the questions are repeated, not word by word, but in essence, in its ethos, in its themes. Okay, so yes, constitutional government means a representative government of a nation with federal structure. Option B, government whose head enjoys nominal powers. Option C, government whose head enjoys real powers. Option D, government limited by the terms of the Constitution. Yes, D, absolutely correct. A government limited by the terms of the Constitution. This is what the constitutional government means. That raised after the French Revolution. That, okay, there was the French monarch, still the House of Bourbon was not uprooted. Still, Louis XVII, Louis XVIII type of rulers were there, but they were the constitutional monarchs, as in their powers limited by the constitution of the France at that time, right? Okay. So this was the question which was already repeated, okay, which was already discussed. I guess it was the year 2023 when the same question was asked, not with the same words, obviously, but right. Next. Same question. A constitutional government by a definition is, if you see just in 1 year, 2021 was this is the question in 2021, and this is the question in 2020. Okay. So, a constitutional government by definition is what? Correct answer? Obviously, the limited government. Right? If you go through the understanding, okay, this question, government limited by the terms of Constitution, limited government, constitutional government. Right? Same. Even words were almost the same. So questions, they have been repeated by UPSC, guys. Okay, so that's why it becomes very much important for us to even solve the PYQs. Right? Okay. Next. So, which one of the following categories of fundamental rights incorporates protection against untouchability as form of discrimination? So, year 2020, what's going on? COVID, right? Untouchability at its peak, but not in the means of any political or social manner. It was the biological reason this time. Correct? Right against exploitation, right to freedom, constitutional remedies, equality. What's the correct answer? Untouchability. Covered under Article 17. Okay. And right to equalities, they have been mentioned within Articles 14 to 18. Yes. Correct answer will be D. Article 14 is specifically dedicated to right to equality or the equality before law. 15, 16, 17, 18, they also mentions in other forms, that is right to equality, that is equality of opportunity and everything in the eyes of law. Okay. Yes. So, era, COVID era, untouchability was at its peak, not in the political aspects, the biological. Next. In India, the separation of judiciary from the executive is enjoined by, we discussed it already. It was Article 50, separation of executive from the judiciary. So yes, that is directive principles of policy. Option B. Correct hai? Hai na? This guy is correct. Okay. Now, all those who are live here with me, like Reshma, Vikas, Lopamudra Nayak, MK64, many others. Okay. Don't you think so? The questions, they have been quite static, quite fact-based, right? Yes, as I have stated already multiple times. They sound fact, they sound factual based, they sound static, but all are what they are directly, not even indirectly, directly they are related to the current events going on into the Indian society, polity, economy, and so on. Directly they are related. Okay, so once again, you leave newspapers, you leave current affairs, UPSC leaves you. Decision discretion is yours. So next, other than the fundamental rights, which of the following parts of the Constitution reflect the principle and provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Yes, fundamental rights, obviously they do. But apart from fundamental rights, UNHDR is represented in which other elements? Any idea? Preamble, DPSP's fundamental duties. Well, it is preamble. Absolutely, it is. Talking about the implementation of equality, implementation of liberty, fraternity. Okay. Directive principles of state policy, going ahead with the economic liberalization of the people. This is also part of Article 2 of UNHDR. Then fundamental duties, cherishing the ideas of nationalism, abiding the laws and everything. This is what Article 22 of the UNHDR mentions. Okay, so these are all what? Mentioned within our Indian Constitution. So all of them. Correct answer? D. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, here we go. Next. Which part of the Constitution of India declares the ideals of welfare state? Once again, year 2020. Welfare state was continuously discussed by the media, by the people and everyone. Obviously, what resembles welfare state? As simple as that. Directive principles of state policy. It doesn't mean that the other ones, they are not resembling or they are not talking about the welfare state. They are also talking about. But actually the theme of welfare state is mentioned within the DPSPs as it provides the duties to the state that you do this for the sake of welfare of the masses. It's pushing the state. You go ahead, do this. You go ahead, do that. Make sure this is happening. Make sure that is happening. So this is what is known as the welfare state concept. Okay, the other ones, they are also resembling it, but they are resembling it. They are part of the feature or they are the elements of welfare state. Actually, the concept of welfare state is resembled where? In part 4, Articles 36 to 51, that is DPSPs. Next, consider the following statements. The Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of like federalism, secularism, fundamental rights, and democracy. Second, the Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberties and preserve the ideals on which Constitution is based. So which of the above given statement is or are correct? This is a bit blend, facts plus theories. What do you think is the correct answer? Yep, go on. Have a look. B. Two only. Well, let's go. The Constitution of India defines the basic structure. Nowhere. Constitution of India has nowhere defined the basic structure. We have derived it through the Keshwananda Bharati case of 1973. It is nowhere defined in the Constitution. Okay. Statement 2. The Constitution of India provides for the judicial review. No, it doesn't. Once again, we have explicitly derived it, the provisions under Article 13, Clause 2. But of India provides? No, it doesn't. We have derived that power. Okay. So, what will be the correct answer? D. The one, neither two. Okay. So, neither the basic structure is defined, neither the judicial review is mentioned anywhere. Okay. Judicial review term is neither mentioned anywhere. We have just derived that power. Okay. So, next. The preamble to the Constitution of India is. Preamble is what? Part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. Not a part of the Constitution and has no legal effect. Part of the Constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part. Part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts. So yes, for the first time, 1960 Berubari Union case, the question rose that whether preamble is part of the Constitution or not. Then the answer came, no, it is not. Then it was finalized 13 years later in the Keshavananda Bharati case, 1973, that yes, preamble is part of the Constitution. But now comes in the next part of the question, whether it is enforceable by default or not. The answer is no, it is not enforceable by default. So now the question, okay, that is the confusion is here in option A and option B, right? Yes, it is a part of the Constitution, but has no legal effect, has no legal effect. Now the option D is adding 4 new terms independently of other parts. Yes, correct. Independently as compared to the other parts, preamble is not having any force of law. Okay. It needs a separate legislation, separate statutes and enactments to apply the provisions mentioned within it. So the correct answer will be D. Okay, a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. That's true, independently of other parts. Right. So that is why correct answer option. Next question. With reference to the provisions contained in Part 4, once again DPSPs, which of the following statements is or are correct? So as we know, Article 37, DPSPs are non-enforceable in nature, right? So they shall be enforceable by courts. No. They shall not be enforceable by any courts. Okay, Article 37. So the principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of the laws by the state. Absolutely. Okay, that is why it is focusing on the working provisions of the Constitution, that is the welfare state. Okay, so select the correct answers. So how many of the above are correct? Statement 2 and 3, they all are correct. Okay, so correct answer will be D. Right? No, it's not B, guys. It's D. They shall not be enforceable by any courts. Obviously, it is pushing the state, right? Work. And the provisions mentioned within it are non-enforceable. By default, they are. Okay. So, 2 is correct. Correct as well. All the policies, they are influenced, all the policies of the central as well as the state governments. They are influenced by whom? They are influenced by the DPSPs themselves. That's enough. Okay? Is that understood, everyone? Any questions, please? किसी को कुछ पूछना है? कोई कुछ पूछना चाहता है? Anyone needs to ask any questions? Any queries? Any doubts? Anything? Feel free to ask. No? Shall we proceed? Okay, great. So next. In the context of polity, Which of the following would you accept as the most appropriate definition of liberty? Guys, remember, the overall umbrella term has been used. Polity. Not just the Indian, French, American, Japanese, Russian, German polity. Polity. So in polity, the word liberty is best described. Option A, protection against the tyranny of political rulers. B, absence of restraint. C, opportunity to do whatever one likes. D, opportunity to develop oneself fully. See, obviously, prima facie, at the very first sight, at the very first instance, you will feel like option C, opportunity to develop, or sorry, to do whatever one likes. But that's not liberty. That's freedom. Okay, that's independence. Okay. Option A, protection against the tyranny of political rulers. That's liberal democracy. That's the safeguard of liberty, right? We had this question previously. That's safeguard, that's liberal democracy. Then, absence of any restraint. Yes, that's once again freedom. But liberty is what? Absence of any restraint when it comes to your own development. No one will stop you in growing and developing yourself. That is the actual essence, actual theme, actual definition or description of the word liberty. You have got the authority to grow and develop yourself as much as you can. And there would be no restraints, no obligations, no margins, no boundaries to it. Grow yourself in positive manner, obviously, right? Affirmative manner, obviously. Okay, so next. The ninth schedule was introduced in the Constitution of India during the Prime Ministership of whom? Okay, another fact based. Ninth schedule, that is insertion of Article 31 capital B. So we know it very well, Articles 31 capital A and Article 31 capital B. They were inserted in our Constitution through the first Constitutional Amendment Act. And first Constitutional Amendment Act took place in the year 1951. And who was the Honorable Prime Minister of India? Chitta Jan. This Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. All the facts. See the years 2019, 20 and all. They are focusing on the essence of the Constitution. The basic ethos of the Constitution. The basic themes of the Constitution. When they all have been in question, not because of only the actions of the government, but also the questions raised by the opposition parties and right. Okay, so here we go. Next, which article of the Indian Constitution safeguards one's right to marry person of his or her own choice? Love marriage करनी है, कर लो. Constitution खुद authority दे रहा है. Kind of. Okay, so Constitution has provided you a liberty again, as freedom again. If you want to go ahead with the love marriage, the person of your own choice, you can go ahead. Okay. See, these were the questions which were raised at that time, eras of 2017 and 18. Okay. When terms like love jihad were in too much of prominence. Okay. See, I'm not promoting or demoting or defining or defending any political or a religious term. No, neither it is my authority, neither it comes in my ethics. Okay, right? So it's not like that. I'm just giving you the reference that this was the era of 2016, 17, 18, and so on, when the terms like love jihad and so on, they gained too much of prominence. See, whether it exists or not, I don't know. Neither I'm the judge, neither I'm the one who authorizes such a thing. So let's refrain from such type of discussion. Okay, but yes, it was the era such types of things were too much highlighted. So here comes in the question. So yes, what is the correct answer? B, yes. Right to life and personal liberty. Okay, Article 21. Right, next. Consider the following statements. The Parliament of India can place a particular law in the 9th schedule of the Constitution of India. Statement 2. The validity of law passed in the 9th schedule cannot, and the key terms, cannot be examined by any court and no judgment can be made on it. Statement 1 is absolutely correct. Using articles 31 capital A and 31 capital B, Parliament can put any law, okay, in the ninth schedule. Okay, that's absolutely. Statement 2 would have been correct, would have been, if this was year not 2025, but year 1972, or let's say 1973. Because this thing was applicable only till date, that is 24th April 1973. That is the date of the case of Keshwananda Bharti. All the laws, Supreme Court stated that all the laws placed within ninth schedule on or before 24th April 1973 will be free from judicial review, that is any kind of judicial scrutiny or any kind of judicial interpretations. But laws placed beyond that, that is after 24th April 1973, will be subjected to judicial review. So it is asking in the present context, obviously. So statement 2 is not correct. Statement 1 is absolutely correct. So what is the correct answer? 1. Right. Yes, Panothumyavati. I'm really sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong there. Please excuse me in case I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay. Birth date of Sachin Tendulkar also. Okay, I didn't know that. Right. Hello, this is a new addition to the knowledge. 24th April 1973. God of cricket was born. Fine. Great. Okay, moving on to the next question. Right to privacy, once again in question. As an intrinsic part of the Article 21, it is obvious. Okay, life and personal liberty. Which of the following articles correctly or appropriately implies it? So we have already discussed it, I guess, thrice. This is the fourth time this question is coming. Yes, Article 21. Okay, right to life and personal liberty. Life and personal liberty, they both ascertains, okay, the concept of, once again, justice case 2017. Okay, next. In the federation established by the Government of India Act 1935, the residuary powers were given to whom? Very fact-based question, but 2017 was the era. Residuary questions were in the considerations. That there were many types of laws, many types of powers and duties or the functions of the central government that were continuously being questioned. So 1935 Government of India Act gave residuary powers to the Governor General. The Cabinet Mission Plan gave residuary powers to the provinces. But the Constitution of India rejected both of them and it gave the residuary powers to the, yes, obviously the Union. Okay, so as per the Government of India Act 1935, it was given to the Governor General or basically Viceroy. Okay, so remember the passage. Government of India Act 1935 gave it to the Governor General. The Cabinet Mission Plan gave it to the, what we say, the provinces. Okay, that is basically the units, the states, and the Indian Constitution. It said that neither the Governor General, neither the provinces, it will be given to the Union. That is why we are a federation with a bias. Union possess more powers than the states. Okay. So once again, as you can see, questions coming from the era of 20. Okay. Next, which of the following are regarded as the main features of rule of law? Main features, exactly that resembles rule of law. The limitation of powers, equality before law, people's responsibility to the government, liberty and civil rights. So limitations of powers. Yes, it is obvious. Equality before law, obviously. But with the third statement, people's responsibility to the government. Isn't it reversed? It should be the government's responsibility to the people. So statement 3 is absolutely not correct. Then fourth, liberty and civil rights. Obviously, yes. So what will be the correct answer? What should be the correct answer? Come on, guys. So 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Third can't be the answer. So 1, 2 and 4, that is E. Okay. Yep. Governments, okay, yes, they do possess responsibilities towards the citizens, not the citizens towards the government. That was simply Uno reverse. Okay. One of the implications of equality in society is the absence of what? Equality is best defined. Yes, guys, equality is best defined when there is absence of, what do you say? Absence of what? A, privileges. Yes, correct. Absence of any kind of privilege, that is favoritism, is known as equality. Okay. The Bollywood nepotism, appointment of a person into the cricket board as its chief, okay, who also happens to be son of a very decorated politician. These things were at that time too much in considerations, too much in newspapers, right? Too much highlighted basically. So what is equality? Absence of any kind of favoritism. That is simply privileges, right? That is simply equality. Next. Which principle among the following was added to DPSPs by the 42nd Amendment? Another fact-based question. Equal pay for equal work for both men and women, participation of workers in the management of industries, right to work, education and public assistance, and securing living wage and human conditions of work and workers. Yes, guys, what's the correct answer? Facts, totally facts. They're all facts-based. Okay, so it is option B, participation of workers in the management of industries. Added Article 43 capital A through this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so the correct answer will be B, participation of workers in the management of industry. Okay, so 2017 was the era, 2016 and 15 basically was the eras when workers like Amul, workers of many industries, they were questioning, okay, that are we there in existence? Are we there in existence with regard to any opinion or our say is taken by the management? Then Article 43 capital A was in question. Yeah, Article 39 capital A was also added, that is legal aid. Okay, free legal aid and justice. Okay, what? Next question. Which one of the following statements is correct? Rights are claims of state against the citizens. Lol. B. Rights are privileges which are incorporated in the constitution of a state. C. Rights are claims of the citizens against the state. And D. Rights are privileges of a few citizens against many. Yes. Go on. Well, the first statement, I should cut it immediately. Absolutely ruffle, lol, lamao, everything. Okay. Rights are claims of state against citizens. That can't be. The rights are privileges. Yes, they are privileges. But actually, the rights are what? They are claims. Claims of citizens against the state. Okay, so it is claims of citizens against the state. Not the claims of state against the citizens. That would be really a ruffle movement, huh? Moment. Yeah. Sir. Yes, Manisha. This SIRRRRRR. Hello, sir. Hello, Manisha. How are you? It's a big sir. Like, I feel like I have to promote SIR, Special Intensive Revision. Well, I'm promoting that, to be honest. Okay. Chalo, aage badhe. Next question. Consider the following statements. So, with reference to the Constitution of India, the DPSPs constitute limitations upon. DPSPs constitute limitations. 8. So is it on the legislative function or is it on the executive function? Guys, the question itself is providing you the answer. We have discussed it some few minutes back, huh? DPSPs are not the limitations to the state, na? DPSPs are not limitations. DPSPs provide the areas, the wide horizons of work to the state. Do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, focus here, don't focus there. They are not providing any kind of limitations. No, both are incorrect. Okay, DPSPs, they do not provide any kind of limitations. Fundamental rights provide limitations to the state, not the DPSPs. Fundamental rights are considered negative for the state. DPSPs are considered positive for the state. Okay, right? Correct answer will be D. Not 1, the 2. Okay. Sorry, sir. D. Ugh. Lok Mudras, I really liked your technique, huh? C, D. That's fantastic. Okay. So, chalo, sir. Let's go ahead. Next. Which of the following statements is or are true of the fundamental duties of an Indian citizen? Legislative process has been provided to enforce these duties and they are correlative to legal duties. Come on. Quickly, guys. What do you think? Correct answer. Huh? D, neither 1, neither 2. Sure. Okay, fine. So, they are correlative to legal duties? No, they are not. Legislative process has been provided to enforce those duties? Not so far. Not till date. Okay, right? Not till date. And there is nothing known as legal duties in our constitution. It provides us all the constitutional safeguards and what we say, the duties or the obligations. But there is nothing known as legal. So neither 1, the 2. Okay, right? So next. Which one of the following objectives is not embodied in the preamble? Not. Remember the term. What is asked? Not written. Okay. What do you have to mark? Not embodied. Where? In the preamble, not the whole constitution. Preamble to the constitution. Okay. Liberty of thought, economic liberty, liberty of expression, and liberty of belief. So if we go ahead with the words of the constitution, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, political, social, and economic, equality of opportunity, okay, and then liberty. Liberty of what? Thought, expression, and belief. But there is nothing known as economic liberty. There is economic justice, but there is nothing known as economic liberty. Okay, so correct answer will be yes. B. करेक्ट है बी 3-4 बार टाइप कर दो उसको ऐसे ही. Okay, next. In the context of India, which of the following is the correct relationship in rights and duties? Correct. Okay. Between rights and duties. Come on. My rights are your duties. I'll give you just one statement. My rights are your duties. Now try to answer. The answer written, statement written here is, my rights are your duties, and vice versa. Your rights are my duties. So yes, obviously they are correlative. Correlative with what? Correlative with the duties directly. Okay, Great. Option A. Right? A. Correct. Next. The mind of the makers of the Constitution is best reflected in, I think, as simple as that type of a question. Simplest. It was 13th December 1946 when the doors of the Constituent Assembly they were opened by the Darbaris and Chacha Jan with his white jacket and a rose here. He entered the assembly hall through the aisles, having a folder in his armpit like this, and he was moving towards the desk of the speaker. And he represented there at that time the objective resolution that how the nation is going to be, and everyone was excited that day. Everyone's eyes were shining in all anticipations, speculations, all type of what you say, the excitement was there. Okay, so that is what came to be known as later on the preamble to the Constitution. So yes, A, the preamble, right? Okay, A, correct. Next, right to vote and to be elected in India is a fundamental right, natural right, constitutional right, or a legal right. Well, another fact-based question. Article 324 provides you the right to vote. Article 325 authorizes you to contest in elections regardless of your religion, race, caste, gender, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what it is? A constitutional right since Articles 324 and 325. That is right to vote, right to contest, right to cast, and right to contest. Okay, yes. CCC, that is the legal right, constitutional rights. Okay. Which of the following are envisaged by right against exploitation in the Constitution of India? Right against exploitation. Very good. Panothumavati. Okay. Panothumavati. Okay. There, I'm really sorry. Apologies. Please if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, huh? Yes. So next, which of the following are envisaged by the right against exploitation in the Constitution? So prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Yes, it is under Article 23. Abolition of untouchability, Article 17. Protection of interest of minorities, basically Article 29 and 30. And then prohibition of employment of children in factories, so on. This is Article 24. Okay. So prohibition of any kind of exploitation is where statement 1 and statement 4. Okay. So what will be the correct answer? Yes, CCC 1 and 4 only. Okay. Yep. Great. Next. The provision in the 5th and 6th schedule. Article. Okay. What's Article 5th schedule 244 clause 1 and the 6th schedule Article 244 clause 2 and Article 275 clause 1. This 6th schedule, this 5th schedule, and they are related to what? Administration of, yes, the tribal areas. Correct? So to protect the interests of our scheduled tribes. Statement A. Question coming in the era 2015, when obviously the tribes in Northeast, tribes in Andaman and Nicobar were quite in question and consideration again. As you can see, directly from the current events, fact-based have been posted or pasted in your question paper. Right? Okay, moving ahead. Which of the following, or who of the following is known as the custodian of the Constitution? Very good, Vikas. ADCs and TAC, Autonomous District Councils and Tribes Advisory Council. Okay, great. Yep. So who is known as the custodian of the Constitution, or what do you say, the guardian of the Constitution as well? Obviously, directly it is the President of India. Supreme Court of India. Guys, there have been quite a debate between the President of India and the Supreme Court of India. Quite a debate have been, but obviously the correct answer, apart from the debate, when it comes to the conclusion of the debate, so yes, the Constitution, okay, is having a guardian, is having a custodian, and it's not the President, it's never the Prime Minister, never the Lok Sabha Speaker or someone, and only the Supreme Court of India. Okay? So I hope you are enjoying the session. And here we go to the next question for the day. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India is a provision mentioned in where? Preamble, DPSPs, fundamental rights, or duties. It should be not that difficult. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. It is what? The duty of each and every individual. So it is the fundamental piece. See, the preamble mentions that we are sovereign, socialist, secular republic. Okay, DPSPs allow this thing to the state to make policies for the sake of the protection of the above. Okay, fundamental rights, they are there so that citizens can live their life freely. They can enjoy the democratic setup. But the duties they are, that says you should uphold and protect sovereignty, unity, and integrity of the nation. Article 51, capital A. Okay, so I hope it's all clear, right? And here we go with the next question. As simple as that. I don't think so. I don't need any discussion in that. I think this is being repeated third time, probably third time. Yeah, correct answer. Welfare state, preamble, DPSPs, rights, 7th schedule. One. As simple as that. Once again, yes, DPSPs, directive of state policy. Okay, exactly. Yep. No consideration left. Okay, guys. So an announcement for our dear serious UPSC CSAT aspirants. Guys, remember, this one is a announcement for our serious aspirants. If you are not a serious one, you can skip this announcement for now. If you are looking forward to appear in the examination of either 2027 or let's say even 2028, our resolution plus batches, okay, they are about to commence from 18th of November. Okay, but here is the question. Okay, why I must enroll in this resolution plus batch? Means what I will get. Why should I enroll myself here? Is there any reason you can give me? Okay, so here is the reasons, not the reason, reasons. Okay, first reason, you will be given 1000 plus hours of live lectures. Can you imagine 1000 plus hours of live lectures? Huge time. Okay, what if you miss your live lectures? Don't worry, you will be having access to the recorded lectures, okay, till your subscription ends. Depends on what type of subscription you have taken. We have got subscriptions like gold, platinum, and diamond. If you have taken gold, so it would be 12 months, platinum would be around 18 months, diamond would be around 24 months, and so on. Right? Okay. So 1000 plus hours of live lectures, access to recorded lectures, and then whatever teacher's personal class notes they are, the teacher that he or she is using, now the very same personal class notes will be shared with you at the end of the session in PDF format. But the point is, only with the help of the notes, you are never going to qualify. You need the proper study material, proper reading material. Without that, it's not possible. So we will courier you, we will parcel you 18 sets of printed books created on the upgraded pattern of UPSC CSE. Upgraded syllabus, upgraded pattern, everything. Okay, so these 18 books would be sent to you at your doorstep. Well, this was the knowledge enhancement part. Let's talk about the another magna carta of our preparation, that is the knowledge assessment part. Because assessment only provides you the key. Assessment only provides you the actual understanding, the reality, the mirror. So that assessment is what we call as the test series. The very same subscription, that is this one resolution plus batch only, will provide you the prelims test series, mains test series, as well as interview guidance program. Simply speaking, 75 plus tests for prelims, 12 plus tests for your mains, and multiple mock interviews for your personality test, that is your interview again. What else? Well, hold on. The moment you have subscribed, the very next moment, okay, the very next moment, one personal mentor will be assigned to you with whom you can connect anytime. Okay, discuss your issues that you are facing, your grievances that you are facing. Okay, so the moment you have subscribed, one personal mentor sent to you immediately. Okay, next, the very same subscription will make you eligible to avail the prelims residential program as well as the mains residential program. As I was discussing in the beginning of the session, that our students of PRP and MRP, that is prelims residential program as well as the mains residential program, how are they too much convicted towards their goal? How their conviction is now in a quite an intense manner, how their knowledge, their information is in a very deeper manner, as they are subjected to some good level of discipline and punctuality. The regular classes, the regular class works, in the name of homeworks, they are given to them. And so they are compelled now, they are creating an aura, they are creating an energy within themselves that is pushing them harder towards their goal. So how are you going to be eligible for your PRP? So if you are in our top 10 students, those who have gone through the regular classes, regular assessment, that is a test series and so on. So if you are there in the top 10, that I can see you guys are going to be. Okay, means like the way you guys have answered, that was perfect. Okay, you will be going there in the PRP. So your accommodation in Delhi's Rajendra Nagar, if you can come, okay, will be totally on us. You don't have to pay one single penny for your accommodation. Okay, and the moment you have qualified prelims, once again, you will be eligible for the MRP directly by default. Mains residential program. Till your mains is happening, you will be staying in that very same accommodation. Your private space it will be. Okay, you don't have to share your room with anyone. Okay, it will be a private space equipped with all basic facilities and amenities. And just besides your accommodation is our StudyIQ offline center. So you have to just go there, take the proper classes, take the proper guidance, come back to your space, read, repeat, next day. Right? Okay, so this is what for our serious UPSC CSA aspirants. One subscription to crack it all, that's why we call it as PS Foundation P2I, that is prelims to mains to interview. Now, I'm giving you a trick. How to enroll yourself in this one batch with the cheapest price, with the maximum discounted price. So as you can see below your screens, code is scrolling. That is PRV Live. If you apply this promo code, that is PRV Live, whatever the subscription amount is showing to you, that will be reduced down drastically. Okay, so you'll get a substantial, a discount, a very good platform to avail in the cheapest price, right? So just use this code PRV Live, okay, and whatever the subscription price it is, it will be drastically reduced, okay? So this is for the examination year of 2027, and in case you are looking forward for 2028, so we have got another batch for you, okay, and the price and the code will differ. So price will differ, but not the code. If you enroll yourself using this price, PRV Live, maximum discount will be given to you. But guys, remember, you need to enroll yourself on or before 18th of November. Okay, guys, so this is it with regard to this session. Please don't forget the code PRV Live. And yes, please do hit the subscribe button of our channel, StudyIQ English. And in case you wish to join me on my Telegram channel for the sake of class links, PDFs, notes, quizzes, discussion, and so on. So here is the QR code of my Telegram channel. That is with the channel name, Praveen _StudyIQ. So you can just go on the search bar and type the channel name Praveen underscore StudyIQ and join, or simply you can scan the QR code and join. And you can also connect with me on my Instagram, that is Praveen Mishra underscore 2107. Okay, guys, you can join me here and let me know whatever your doubts are, and I shall be happy to help you. But yes, please hit the subscribe button of the channel and never miss an update from it. And this is it with regard to this session. It was a fun session, enjoyed a session a lot. I personally enjoyed the session. I don't know how much you guys enjoyed, and please let us know your opinion into the comment section, if any. Right, everyone, thank you so much. Bye bye, good day, take care, keep studying well. Jai Hind.